Greetings, loved ones. Today we're going to talk about the psychological effects of trauma. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell and share these messages with others. You could save a life. There are many psychological symptoms of emotional trauma, and we're going to talk about these today. Emotional responses to trauma can be any or a combination of the following: fear, helplessness, dissociation, changes in attention, concentration, and memory retrieval, changes in behavior, changes in attitude, changes in worldview, difficulty functioning, denial or refusing to believe that the trauma actually occurred. It can be anger. It could be bargaining, which is similar to negotiation. For example, I will do this or this if I could only fix the problem. And then there's avoidance, such as disregarding one's own troubles or avoiding emotionally uncomfortable situations with others. Then there is depression, anxiety, mood swings, guilt or shame, blame, including self-blame, social withdrawal, loss of interest in activities, and emotional numbness. And then there are many physical symptoms of emotional trauma. Emotional trauma can also manifest in the form of physical symptoms, and these include increased heart rate, body aches or pains, tense muscles, feeling on edge all the time, jumpiness or startling easily, nightmares, difficulty sleeping, fatigue, sexual dysfunction, such as erectile dysfunction or difficulty becoming aroused or difficulty reaching orgasm, appetite changes, and excessive alertness. So I want to talk about grief and trauma because grief and trauma are closely linked. Grief is a feeling of anguish related to a loss, most often the death of a loved one. However, the loss is not always a death. It is possible to experience both trauma and grief following a distressing event, especially when the event involves the death of a close friend or family member. A person experiencing trauma may go through the 5 stages of grief described by psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and these are the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. While the stages are often explained in this order, it's important to recognize that a person may move from one stage to another in any order, and they may repeat or skip stages. ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences, with 62% of U.S. adults having at least one ACE and 25% of U.S. adults having 3 or more ACEs. The question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do if you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. Those who suffer violence, they need to know that those who love them and those who don't even know them will step out and reach out to them to give them the help they need before it's too late. If you're a victim of violence, I want you to listen to me. You are valued. You are loved. You are intelligent. And yes, you are worthy. God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. And I want you to know that there is a way out. You don't need to stay stuck in your suffering. It's not your fault, and abuse is not love. And most of all, I want you to know that you are not alone. If you're a victim of violence, reach out to somebody today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, please call 911 for help. And if you know of anybody suffering violence, please report it to the authorities. In our next episode, we're going to talk about treatments for trauma. Until then, God bless you.